Hey everyone, RJ here, back with another video, and today I'll be discussing the Android 13 update on the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now, this phone has been used as a daily since before the update and then after the 13 update, and so I have been able to tell if there's any bugs popped up after the update and stuff like that, and that's why I'm making this video, because there has been a couple of little bugs I've seen pop up here on this phone ever since the update. Nothing too major, but I want to make this little video here to explain them to you and just kind of tell you what I think of Android 13 so far on the OnePlus 10 Pro. So anyway, getting into the first thing is the battery life. Now I know after a major OS update, it could take 5 to 7 days to relearn your usage patterns and everything, and you might see more battery drain. And I have seen more battery drain on this phone. Now, this phone has never been like a top shelf battery, best battery in the world phone. It's got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and while it does get me through a full day and then some, when it comes to battery life, it's really hard to explain battery life, and because everybody's different, they use their phone differently. Some may get over a day, some may get 2 days, some may get not even get through a full day. So I mean, battery life is always subjective, as you know. But for me, I can always get a day or over a day easy with this phone. But I have noticed that it does drain quite a bit more. I wouldn't say it's significant, but it does drain more than it used to on Android version 12, surprisingly. But it's like I said, it takes a little bit for it to learn, you know, everything again, all your usage patterns. So I mean, it's been a little over a week since the update, and battery has been getting a little bit better. So maybe it's something that needs to just be readjusted. I don't know. But battery life has not been as good. So hopefully, maybe there'll be a patch come through to maybe improve the battery life here soon. But it's not really much of a deal breaker. Battery life is still really good. It's just I can tell a dip in the battery. Now, secondly, is the fingerprint scanner and the face unlock. We all know how OnePlus is, some of the best fingerprint scanners, whether it be side mounted or under display. And this phone being under display, it was always super fast. But I have noticed that while it used to be 10 out of 10 times it unlocked the phone no problem, now about 7 out of 10 times there is some times that it just won't open, or times it'll pop up the icon like you see right there on the bottom, and you'll press it and it won't do anything. So hopefully a patch will fix that as well. Most of the time it does still work, and like with some major updates, you may have to go in there and delete your fingerprint info, and re-enroll your fingerprints, and maybe it'll fix the whole problem. I haven't done any of that because I wanted to use it after the update to see how it was going to do, just the way it was before the update. So there's that. It still works fine. I can press it right now, and right there, try again. Press it again, try again, and now I'm in the phone. So it took about 3 times after pressing it to get to the phone, which is it's not ever happened before. So maybe it just needs to be re-enrolled, or maybe it needs to be patched with a security. I don't know, or with a system update. I really don't know. So there's that. And also the face unlock, where I could just kind of like glance at the screen, it would unlock every single time. Now, a lot of times it don't recognize. If I look directly at it, it'll unlock fast as it ever was. But maybe it's the same way like the fingerprint scanner. You have to go in there, delete the face info, and re-enroll it. Maybe it'll be fine again. Which I want to try all of that. But I wanted to give you just the real deal after the update without changing anything, to see if there's been anything changed. And so far, basically, it's the fingerprint scanner, the face unlock, and the battery life. Now, one more thing, and the last thing that I've noticed is with the screen. Now, the display itself is as smooth as it ever was. I mean, that 120 hertz, it's just, oh, it's so super smooth. No problems with touch, nothing. However, when you pull the drop down, if you got like 10 notifications or whatever, you're swiping up trying to get added notifications, there's times it's like it don't recognize your finger at all. It's not frozen or anything, but you'll swipe and it'll be perfectly fine. Right now I'm swiping and it's not doing nothing, and now it goes away. It's hard to show you that on screen how that does that, but take my word for it. There's times like right now I'm swiping, swipe, now it goes away. So maybe all this can be fixed with a simple software patch or whatever. There's like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the touch display on the main screen. Going back and forth, it does just fine. Swiping up, I mean everything works just fine with no issues. It's just in the notifications they get kind of annoying. You're swiping up and it won't do anything. So that's the main bugs. There is the biometrics battery and that notification scroll. It just don't do. It don't. It needs a patch to fix those problems, which I'm surprised because Android 13, Android 12 was kind of a disaster. So I was really, hoping that it would be even better. And honestly, it did fix one thing that really annoyed me with this phone since day one, and that is the auto rotate. Now, when it was on Android version 12, when I first got this phone, every single time you power this phone off to charge it, or you just power it off for a little while, power it back on, it would always turn off auto rotate. That seemed to have been fixed on Android 13. Now I can power the phone on, auto rotate works. I don't have to go in there and press it and turn it back on, when I want to, have the phone like this instead of like this, watching the video or whatever. So yeah, auto rotate has been fixed. Now we all know about, the OnePlus with the Realme, Oppo, and all that kind of stuff. Now I have noticed that after the Android 13 update, this reminds me more of a Realme device than a OnePlus device. Now we are on Oxygen OS, okay? Oxygen OS 13, System Update 13.0. And we are on Android version 13 with September security patch. Might not be able to see that there on camera. That ring light's in the way, but we are on 13 with September security patch. But when you look at the status bar up top where the signal and all is, it reminds me more of one of my Realme phones that I have now. It just has a different look to it. In the settings, a lot of things like the special features, additional settings, and just the overall look of it reminds me more now of a Realme device. But that's not a bad thing. Realme is really, I like the way Realme system looks, their operating system looks. This is Oxygen OS. I mean, it says it plainly on in the settings, and there's Oxygen OS. But it just, to me, when I'm looking at it now, it looks more like a Realme device with the signal bar. The way it looks, it just looks really different than how it used to look. But overall, it's a great phone, and I highly recommend it to anyone considering this phone. To me, it's one of the most underrated flagship phones of 2022. I know the OnePlus 10T is out right now that looks basically just about like it, with a few little differences, and it's a little bit cheaper than this phone here. But this one here has all the goodies and all the bells and whistles, and I think it's still very relevant, and I want to keep talking about it because it's a great phone, and it does everything well. So that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I will follow up if there's any updates or if I re-register fingerprints and stuff like that, if it gets any better. Of course, battery tests will be coming up soon. But if it's helpful and informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Clicking that bell, turn it on to receive all notifications of future videos to come. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.